Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
You understand this equation?
I'm sorry for being late, madam.
So okay, Solehin. So are you back? Oh, kat mana?
Saya dekat luar, si hantar mak saya pergi klinik.
Okay, so can you study there? Kalau tak, awak tengok dekat video.
Yeah, because I'm in a car, you know, so she's in the clinic, so it's okay, I think.
Alright, so this equation is ni tau ni is the carrier lifetime. Do you know what is a carrier lifetime? No?
No, madam.
Okay.
So we talk about generation recombination before, right? And we talk about direct and indirect band gap. Semua ni dalam slide yang keberapa, ketiga, keempat. So kita dah bincang most of it. Tapi kita tak follow dia punya ni ya. So we talk about generation recombination through tracks. We talk about direct and indirect band gap. So kalau this is a graph of actual band gap. So it's not as, so dia ada banyak valley and peak and valley. Dia panggil ni valley. Yang ni valley. Peak macam ni. Okay, valley. Dia kata ada peak and valley. Nama dia lah. For this is for the energy band diagram. So interestingly kenapa dia macam complicated kan, macam ni macam kita tengok. So the band gap always the minimum of the conduction band. So you can see here, ni semua conduction band ni. This is all conduction band. But what is the band gap? Is the minimum. So that's why definition is very important. The minimum of the conduction band, is the energy between the minimum of the conduction band and ni balance band. Ni semua balance band. Naik turun naik macam ni kan. And then so the minimum of the energy difference between the minimum of the conduction band and the maximum of the valence band. This is the band gap. So this is the energy momentum for different momentum. Momentum sometimes the speed of the speed of the electron or hole, momentum of the carrier. It can have different. Sebenarnya dia punya minimum conduction band ni lain. So bergantung. So dia tu complicated lah nak ceritanya. The band gap, our level, tadika level, we say the band gap is this. But actually, you can have recombination when the, let's say for the momentum is very high, it can, it can recombine with a bigger energy. Okay, so but we will not learn in our undergraduate level lah, master level pun, kecuali very niche application, buat PhD ke apa benda tu, then maybe it might be important. Okay, so this is just to show you how complicated is the energy band diagram. Kalau orang physics, if you do physics, we are doing engineering, right? If you do physics, you will learn all this L1 curve, L3 curve. So kenapa dia ada banyak? But for us, we just need to know. And direct band gap means the minimum. This is indirect because the minimum of the conduction band is not in line with the maximum of valence band. So, but here gallium arsenide, you can see the minimum is in line with the maximum of the valence band. So this is a direct band gap material. So,
Madam?
Yeah.
Dah habis cerita pasal quantum dot.
Tak habis lagi?
Quantum dot. Buat habis quantum well. Quantum dot tak habis.
Quantum dot tak habis lagi. Okay, jomlah kita cerita quantum dot pula. Saya dah tak ingat lah.
Madam dah letih ke hari ni?
Apa?
Madam dah letih ke hari ni?
Saya tahu saya letih apa hari ni. Saya tak tahu apa pun. Dia macam, tak tahu. Dia macam energy
Typhus?
100% lah. Saya tak excited sangat. Kalau saya excited, saya akan bercerita. Saya minta suruh tazkirah ni. Macam saya tak minta tazkirah, saya tak bercerita tu. Saya tak berapa excited lah tu. Saya macam, okay, let's do this. And finish. Alright, so dia ada time-time macam tu. Okay. Now, let's see ya. Kita quantum dot. Mana saya kita quantum dot ni? Okay. So, I will share my screen.
How electron is confined in quantum well.
Okay, so we talk about quantum well pun dah we talk you draw on the quantum well, right? So you know how to draw it. So basically, if I were to draw it here, I draw it sekali lagi. So it a sandwich between a large band gap material. Okay, with the lower band gap material. So saya nak draw. So saya kena draw dia dulu. Normally dia punya ni dia tak sama tau. Normally if you look dia punya apa nama ni the what do you call it, the depth ni of the conduction band and valence band normally tak the same. Normally valence band is shallow. Biasanya yang ni lagi shallow daripada yang ni. Ni lagi deep. The confinement of the carriers. Okay, so dia macam tu. So even if you see heterostructure, if you read more into heterostructure, dia macam-macam ada different band alignment. Band like type 1, type 2, type 3. Google lah sendiri ya. It's not really that I will not ask you in the class. However, I'm just telling you when we put one material to another material, for example, this is gallium arsenide. This is gallium arsenide. This is indium gallium arsenide. No, not indium. This is indium arsenide. Different type of material, for example, this and this, dia macam combination of two different material. The way it align the band is also different. Saya takkan faham saya cakap ni. Okay, let me Google the ni. Let me Google the different alignment. Okay. Okay, let me share with you. I'm just sharing. Alamak, can show. Okay. So going back, share. Okay, you can see here. Can you see the photo here? So different semiconductor. This is one semiconductor 1, semiconductor 2. 1. So this is kata A, B, ni C, D, E, F, different material. So from one material to another, so you can see this is type 1 punya band alignment, dia panggil band alignment. So when you put two material together, the one that you draw for the energy diagram, the PN junction, normally we assume it's the one that you draw is actually homo junction. The one you draw, the one in my video is actually homo junction. Okay, homo junction means only one material, but we do PN. Right. But we can also have the PN junction hetero junction. Hetero junction. Hetero junction means PN junction with hetero structure. Hetero structure means two different material, right? So I'm expecting you to be able to draw it. So you need to, if you understand, you should be able to draw hetero junction punya energy band diagram. So zero bias, forward bias, reverse bias. So okay. So in order to so when we talk about heterostructure means that we put two material together, right? Two material together. And when these two material together, the way they align in terms of band diagram itu, dia ada three different ways of it will align. Number one, we call this the common one. This is the one that we will do throughout our class. The type 1, straddling gap. Whereby you see dia cantik, dia akan get dia macam ni. The quantum well, quantum dot that you will learn like this. The one that you will draw for your PN junction, if it's heterostructure, also like this. Okay, so this type 1, common one. Type 2 will be dia, you can see ni material, sebabnya ni band gap nombor 1, ni band gap nombor 2. Ni band gap nombor 1, band gap nombor 2. You can see dia punya, dia tak duduk tengah-tengah. Macam mana? Can you see the difference? Dia macam mana nak draw, benda tu macam gini sikit. Yang tu macam gini, dia duduk tengah-tengah. Ada dia duduk bawah sikit. So this yang ni macam dia tu duduk tengah-tengah. Antara band gap ni dengan band gap ni, material kedua ni band gap dia duduk tengah-tengah daripada band gap ni. You can see that, right? Yes or no? So yang kedua ni, awak tengok dia tak duduk tengah-tengah, dia duduk bawah sikit. Ni dia duduk bawah gini. Yang tu duduk macam ni, tengah-tengah macam tu. Yang kedua ni dia duduk bawah sikit. So you can see bawah ni duduk kat bawah. And then type 3 will be, dia kadang-kadang dia tak ada kosong macam ni. Dia akan tutup macam ni. This is very rare. Okay, tapi there is. So kenapa boleh how the scientists figure this out? They do a lot of experiment, then they found out, oh, the result, why is the result like that? And they assume the energy band diagram is like this. Okay, but the one that we'll be doing is like this, type 1. Just telling you that there are different types of band alignment for semiconductor. So different semiconductor have different type of band alignment, but the most common is type 1. Then we'll do the type 1. Okay, so any question on that before kita proceed ke quantum dot ni? Tak ada? Semua faham? Baguslah kalau faham. Okay, so apa?
Just now Madam said there is two band gap. Two band. What is the meaning by two band gap?
Dua band gap, dua material, dua band gap lah.
Maksudnya
Bila dua material
just
kan,
now with one.
So which one you don't understand?
Even for the type 1 just now, this as if for the zero bias punya tu je kan, the normal.
No, when I draw just now, the yang gambar tadi tu all not device, but material. So tak ada bias lah. Just material yang saya tunjuk tadi tu, tapi awak should be able to draw that masuk dalam device. Bila device masuk PN junction, adalah, you know, you need to show it the Fermi level align and everything. So normally if it's a heterostructure PN junction, the one that it will be the material will be normally P and N sama, I tu region tu, the intrinsic region yang tengah tu tukar material. So maknanya dia macam-macam, dia seolah-olah macam quantum well terbesar, heterostructure. Dia macam quantum well terbesar. Quantum well ni is in 100 of nanometer, dia kecil sikit. Tapi drawing dia sama, cuma besarkan dia yang tengah tu. Kalau it is the bulk hetero junction. Saya tak kata dia quantum well, but it's a hetero junction. So kecuali lah saya kata kalau saya saja nak test awak, saya kata okay, P material line, N material line. Nak fikir macam nak buat. So P saya bagi material gallium arsenide, N saya bagi material lain. So macam mana you draw the PN junction? Boleh juga. So prinsipal dia sama. Prinsipal dia zero bias, Fermi level kena sama. Then you need to show that there's a band alignment, and you need to show that the kena tunjuk yang energy band diagram tu band energy band tu EG tu berbeza. So tu je lah. Okay. You will see when you draw for your assignment. Hopefully some of you will do, I think most of you will do homo junction, but it will help if you can find photos of a hetero junction devices, LED ke, you know. Biasanya dalam dunia ini jarang orang pakai homo junction nowadays. Biasanya kalau nak efficient, it has to be hetero junction. Okay, now ada soalan lagi yang tadi? Apa tu Faiz? What you are trying to show me? Maybe. That is PN. So, but tu bias apa? Zero bias, fault bias, reverse bias. Saya tak dengar awak cakap apa. Okay, so
Muted lagi. Hai.
saya tak tahu cakap apa saya. Okay.
Saya try lukis energy band diagram untuk reverse bias between gallium arsenide and indium arsenide. So
tapi biasanya orang letak indium arsenide tu ke I region. Orang tak buat macam tu. Biasanya kalau kata indium arsenide akan duduk kat tengah sini. Macam ni.
Okay.
Jarang orang akan buat ni. Jarang orang buat macam ni. Memang tak ada orang buat lah kot saya rasa indium arsenide. Macam ni memang tak ada kot. Theoretically boleh lah kita kata nak buat macam tu, tapi it doesn't make sense kenapa kita nak buat macam tu. Biasanya dia akan jadi macam ni. Ni quantum well, kalau heterostructure biasa dia akan jadi macam ni. Ini sama besar.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, definition of quantum well, right?
Okay. Now, going back to this, so this is a quantum well lah. So let's say this is roughly 100 nanometer in thickness. So what happens is, this is let's say this is zero bias. Dia akan jadi macam ni. Sepatutnya dia, kalau ni P, ni saya tak letak P lah. Ni saya tak label dia P or N. I'm just saying that this semuanya intrinsic. Semua ni gallium arsenide ni India ni semua intrinsic. So dia intrinsic, dia tak ada bad alignment, dia duduk tengah-tengah Fermi level dia. Dia bukan p-n junction pun. This just I'm just telling you just a material you put together in order to make a quantum well. It doesn't have to be p and n. It doesn't have to be p and n over here. And as long as you have a material sandwich between a larger bandgap material with a lower, you have a quantum well. So the advantage of this is that when you have electron over here flowing, this electron will be trapped over here. Dia akan lekat kat situ. And the hole as well. Holding, I told you before, right? Electron are like balls, like bola. Holes are like bubbles. So bubble will go up. So when you go up, dia pergi kat sini, it will stuck over here. It will not go over here anymore. Sebab dia naik atas lah ke situ. And electron pun, while it's go inside this level, it will be confined. So the electron will be confined. So electron is difficult for electron need to gain energy to go out. Okay, so why is it good? Because then it means that you can have recombination. The probability for recombination is higher because you are already confined the electron in this space. Okay, so that is one advantage. The other advantage is that satu confinement, satu lagi, let's talk about discrete energy level lah. Satu lagi, when you have quantum well, when it's very small, the way Pauli exclusion principle also says, if it's too small, and in the end, this inside this quantum well, the energy level will be separated. Therefore, dia akan jadi discrete energy level. Dekat sini ada energy level tapi dia terlalu rapat. As if macam satu band dia boleh pergi. As if macam tak ada line. You know, it's like a band. But in the quantum well, the energy level is discrete. Ni nama dia discrete. The one that I draw here is discrete. So discrete is like you have each one of the energy level. Therefore, the electron, tapi dia punya level ni lagi close. Walaupun dia discrete lagi close. Sebab I will show you the difference between a quantum dot and quantum well. So this is quantum well. So you can have electron. So it means that when the energy level is discrete, sebenarnya electron tu duduk kat sini je. So satu ni mungkin boleh dua. Oh begitu. So yang ni will combine dengan ni. Yang ni akan combine dengan ni. Macam tu. Okay. So dia recombine from electron energy. Sebab electron dia tak boleh duduk rata-rata, dia kena duduk kat energy level. So dia duduk kat energy level dia tu lah dia akan recombine. So bila if this electron recombine with this one, this electron will fill in this energy level and then recombine balik. And ni sini dia recombine balik. Okay. So that's quantum well. Any question before we proceed to quantum dot?
Based on that diagram, Madam said that two electrons can be on the same energy level.
Normally dia panggil setiap energy level tu, kalau tak silap saya boleh dua. Kenapa dua?
Because according to Pauli exclusion principle, right?
Sebab yang
There cannot be more than one electron.
So dia yang paling rendah ni dua. Kan kau belajar dulu kan? Dia paling rendah.
Yes.
Kecil tu 2 betul 4, 8 apa semua tu, right? Yes. The closest to ni is the smallest one. So minimum dekat bawah and minimum you can have is 2.
Then what about Pauli exclusion principle?
This Pauli exclusion principle also, yes, this Pauli exclusion will create this because of that you have this discrete energy level. And also the electron tu tak boleh duduk sesuka hati. Dia kena follow dia punya dia punya principle tu lah yang tak boleh lebih daripada how many electron per ni, and there's a calculation for each. So the higher you go, you have more electron. Okay, macam yang tadi saya draw tu. The higher you go, you have more electron at the outer orbit compared to this dalam. Okay.
Interesting.
So ada lagi soalan segi quantum dot? So quantum dot are similar, very much the same, except for dia lagi kecil. So the diameter or the dimension for the quantum dot is smaller. So you need to make for example, this is indium arsenide, right? This indium arsenide should be in terms of 100 nanometers in order for it to make into quantum well. So for quantum dot, let's say we use the same material, kita buat gallium arsenide the same, indium arsenide also the same. This is quantum dot. And then we also make indium arsenide in the middle, but the per dimension is very smaller sebenarnya. Walaupun saya draw dia. Okay. Walaupun saya draw kat sini blue, tapi sebenarnya sebab dia same, ni same energy, ni semua sama, material sama je lagi. Kalau tak nak confuse macam ni lah. Okay, so the blue is the indium arsenide, the black is the gallium arsenide. So normally in terms of the diameter is 10 nanometers. So for quantum dot, we need to make the indium arsenide thickness or size cannot be 100 nanometers. It must be very small, 10 nanometers. So when that's as small as that, what happens is again because of the Pauli exclusion principle, you will have this again the discrete energy level, but because this is smaller, the distance between each energy level is small. So it jadi macam ni. So you can compare kat atas lah. Yang ni macam sama je. Tapi sepatutnya tak sama. Because maybe this is one I'm drawing it smaller, but you can see in the same. So katalah berapa 0.3 lah dia punya energy band diagram before, energy band gap, energy band. So energy gap. So this is 0.3, 0.03 eV. So this is 1.4 eV. So yang ni pun sebab dia material sama lah, yang ni pun should be 0.03 eV. This should be 1.4 eV. Okay. So but sebab saya draw tu tak sama. Sebab you can see here the discrete energy level become more separated. Okay, which means that okay, so saya lupa cerita. Quantum well, the confinement is 2D confinement. Kita tak ada bateri lah. Sekejap. Kenapa? Sebab dia charge. Sekejap. I need to check my battery of my pencil ni. Kat mana check? Patutlah habis. Okay. Kita share. fast charging I will show. Okay, so for quantum well, tak boleh detect tangan saya sebab macam ni je. Kata charge lah. Okay. So basically, what I want to say is, this quantum well is only 2D confined. So maknanya dia, if you can look here in the middle ni, kat tengah-tengah ni. Kat tengah-tengah ni, kalau quantum well dia confine 2D. For example, 2D maknanya electron and hole tu dia boleh gerak two direction je. Okay, X dengan Y. Kalau in bulk B-U-L-K, normal semiconductor, it can move 3D. It will go everywhere, right? So when it's in quantum well, it will stay confined, but it will stay confined in 2D. Maknanya dia boleh pergi ke sini dengan ke situ je. Dia tak boleh pergi naik atas turun. Okay, linear. So which means that we confine it a certain area. Dia boleh gerak. Walaupun tengok ni macam dia tak boleh gerak, dia dalam quantum well, dia boleh gerak. Tapi dia gerak macam confined into this 2D space. Kalau quantum dot, okay, quantum dot, dia confined in 3D. Maksudnya dia tak bergerak. Elektron tu masuk je. Saya boleh dah okay charge ni. Maksudnya elektron tu mana tadi? So if you have an electron here, it will go masuk dalam, it will go into the quantum dot. It will be here and it cannot move. Okay, which means that we have more control of the electron. The probability for recombination will be higher, and also another advantage is that it's more not sensitive to temperature. So electron tu tak lagi mana-mana, it's stuck. Dia macam kita trap dia dalam quantum dot tu. Okay. Have you seen a quantum dot semiconductor before? Kita dah tunjuk Dr. Syahid dah itu, ke belum?
I think no.
Can you all search? Search for you as well.
3D confined space.
Quantum dot semiconductor. So how does it look like if you go to microscope? So kalau saya cerita energy Venn diagram ni macam you don't really appreciate. Maybe awak tak tahu apa benda, how does it look like exactly. Kalau tengok dalam ni, this is how it looks like. Tak cantik pun. Tapi people are excited for this quantum dot. Wow, quantum dot sebenarnya tak cantik pun. And then I did my PhD 5 years with the quantum dot. Tengoklah gambar-gambar dia, tak menarik pun. Tapi the thing is, it can do many wonderful things. You can confine the electron in 3D. So therefore, untuk laser is very good because we can make the laser not sensitive to temperature. Sebab kadang-kadang laser ni, because it's sensitive to temperature, kita nak lace at one particular wavelength. Because of the changes of the temperature, dia boleh change the wavelength, which is not good. Sebab kita kata kita nak communicate dengan orang tu kan. Kita communicate, optical communication dari sini ke sana. The receiver is only receiving, for example, 450 nanometer punya wavelength. So kita pun send. Tiba-tiba temperature, panas sangat. So the light that comes out, the lasing, it change slightly the wavelength. So receiver tu dia duduk tunggu 450, kita dah jadi 452, terus signal dia dah tak kuat. You understand? So jadi tak bagus lah. So but with this quantum dot, we can it will be less sensitive to temperature. So therefore cantik lah, temperature macam mana pun our communication is still clear. Biasanya quantum dot on semiconductor ni banyak digunakan di military, because they want to make sure that the communication is secure. Macam memang robust lah. tukar temperature, tiba tak musuh datang kita tak tahu kan. So we don't want that. So you can see ya, awak nampak kan? Macam mana kita nak besarkan? So tak boleh nak dibesarkan. Macam mana saya ni balik tadi?
Apparently also used in TV.
TV dia pakai
Yep.
OLED. Dia quantum dot OLED yang lain. Saya kata kan, organic.
QLED. OLED. QLED. QD-LED. I don't know.
Tapi dia pakai organic LED. Saya kata dah kan, make sure don't make the mistake. So siapa yang buat LED tu jangan buat organic LED. Okay, so this is the photo you can see of the microscope. So the dot ni nampak macam circle, that is the quantum dot. Macam mana dia buat? Tak cerita lah, nanti awak lagi confused. Sebabnya macam mana quantum dot ni tak simple lah. Dia kena put a lot of stress and strain. Kalau awak tahu, tapi you understand actually lattice mismatch. Remember lattice mismatch? Tak bagus kan, kita kata kan? Tak bagus. Tapi kalau with the right amount of lattice mismatch, what happens is instead of dia jadi macam kuih lapis, awak kena tengok mak awak buat kuih lapis tu, dia macam cantik je layer dia kan, satu-satu. Tapi kadang-kadang awak pernah tengok tak kuih lapis mak awak tu ada gelembung? Tak pernah tengok? Awak pergi kat kedai semua cantik kan? Awak kena cuba buat kuih lapis sendiri. So kalau buat kuih lapis ni, saya buat lah, saya pernah buat, dan gelembung tu sangat banyak. So when you tengok dekat dia macam dia tak smooth, dia ada macam tiba gelembung. Okay, gelembung tu adalah quantum dot. Okay, when you want to make this epitaxial layer, heterojunction, macam buat kuih lapis, letak gallium arsenide, lepas tu macam kalau quantum well tu kan, letak gallium arsenide layer satu lapis, then you letak indium arsenide very thin lapis of quantum well, then you put gallium arsenide again. Okay, that 3 lapis of kuih lapis tadi kan. So for quantum well, indium arsenide tu 100 nanometer thickness dia. Kalau quantum dot, you put gallium arsenide tu again, layer sama, and you put indium arsenide with very thin thickness of 10 nanometer. Lepas tu awak lapiskan dia dengan gallium arsenide. What happens is, indium arsenide yang tengah tu, sebab dia nipis sangat, dia akan berkumpul, dia akan clot. Dia akan jadi macam dot. Dia akan jadi macam saya kata lam tadi lah, yang nampak bonjol-bonjol dan kuih lapis tu. So bila kita tengok dalam mikroskop daripada atas, sebab ni gambar ni dia ambil daripada atas ni, dia nampak macam ada dot. Sebab tu nama dia kita panggil quantum dot. Okay. Betul kalau kita potong kuih lapis tu, awak lepas ni nak beli kuih lapis raya nak puasa. So kalau potong kuih lapis kan, awak nampak banyak layer kan kuih lapis tu. Kalau potong tu, ni lah yang gambar B ni ialah potong dia. Yang gambar A tu kita tengok daripada atas. Kita tengok kuih lapis tu daripada atas, nampak ada dot. Kita potong kuih lapis tu, tengok daripada sisi pula. Yang gambar B ni, orang nampak bentuk dia macam tu. So quantum dot ni bentuk dia macam ni lah. This is indium arsenide quantum dot with gallium arsenide sandwich. So ni gallium arsenide kat bawah, quantum dot dia indium gallium arsenide, atas ni balik gallium arsenide. Okay, so that's how it looks like in real life.
So gunung dekat gambar B tu is one dot from a picture.
Ni dia ambil satu daripada sini. So ni dia potong belah kat bawah tu, tengok dia punya side, cross section dia jadi dia akan nampak macam ni. And yang ni lah yang kita duk draw energy band diagram tu tadi. Okay. So that's quantum dot. Basically that's the same quantum well, cuma dia 3D confined and it's good lah sebab ni elektron tak boleh pergi mana-mana. Kita trapkan dia dalam dot tu. Okay, any question on quantum well, quantum well and quantum dot? Oh, so exciting tak quantum dot? Macam tak lah. Exciting tak?
Madam,
Quantum theory.
mana kata dia confine electron in 3D, right? So it's not moving, is it? Not moving.
It's not moving. It's not moving and it's not moving and that's why dia akan duduk kat situ, dia akan bila dia masuk je dia akan recombine very nicely. However, bila ni the one I draw ni is like flat. If you forward bias, you make it a PN junction, you forward bias it, right? There will still be current sebab banyak sangat because of the electric field tu, elektron tu still boleh pergi daripada N ke P. Tapi bila masuk dalam tu, probability untuk dia recombine tu higher. You understand? So you still get current. If you put quantum dot inside normally in laser dia letak quantum dot ni dekat intrinsic layer tu. Kalau LED biasa dia letak quantum well tu dekat intrinsic layer. So you can, and the other good thing about this, which is very important, I forgot to tell you, is that why people are crazy about this quantum dot. I'll tell you why. But unfortunately kat Malaysia kita tak boleh buat quantum dot semiconductor. Saya dah cari satu Malaysia, dah pergi Penang, pergi Kedah, pergi Johor. Kita tidak mampu lagi untuk buat our own quantum dot. Sebab tu bila saya balik Malaysia, saya tukar research saya sikit. Sebabnya kita tak boleh buat. Teknologi tu tak ada kat Malaysia. Sian kan, negara miskin. So kalau lagi miskin lagi lah, tak nak buat semiconductor, any research on semiconductor, negara miskin tak boleh buat. Sebab it's expensive. So dia akan buat lah communication, so dia lah macam benda tu benda murah. So communication, electronic. So semiconductor ni is expensive nak buat research tu. So sebab tu tak ramai di dunia buat satu, and expert dia pun tak ramai. Sebab bila tak ramai buat tu, maka expert pun tak ramai. Okay, so macam control system lah. Kalau mechatronics tu memang berdua-dua orang buat. Mechatronics tu memang ramai orang buat. Satu lagi sebab dia tak mahal. It's not expensive to do it. Okay. Now. Apa saya nak kata tadi ya? Kelebihan quantum dot. Okay, kelebihan quantum dot ialah we can dipanggil ni band gap engineering. Have you heard? Band gap engineering. Dah dengar tak? Okay. The good thing about quantum dot is we can engineer the band gap. What does it mean? It means that, okay. Macam ni saya draw sini. Saya draw semua sini macam ni. Extreme. Ni I would imagine line saya draw ni straight lah. Walaupun tak straight. You need to have a very strong imagination. So kita ni satu lagi macam ni.
Tak ada straight line tu dah.
Okay, so this, okay, can you see ni semua quantum dot ni, the whole tray ni is quantum dot. Okay, and this can be the same material. Ni gallium arsenide, ni gallium arsenide, sama gallium arsenide, gallium arsenide, gallium arsenide, gallium arsenide, and tengah ni pun sama, indium arsenide. But the way we can with the thickness of the quantum dot, kan kita kata tadi kuih lapis kan, kita buatlah kuih lapis. The way actual ni kita buat macam tu. Ni actual ni dipanggil epitaxial layer ni, kita buat, kita letak gallium arsenide satu kuih lapis, lapisan merah of gallium hijau ni. Lepas tu kita buat quantum dot. Ni indium arsenide. Lepas tu kita buat pula gallium arsenide. Okay. The thickness here, okay, if we can play with the thickness, we can quantum dot ni biasa 10 nanometer and below. Yes. So kalau kita play with the thickness, kita boleh different thickness will give you different ni quantum dot semua. Different thickness will give you different gap here. So material sama, saya tak suka apa material dia. Material still gallium arsenide dan indium arsenide, but because I change this thickness over here, the dot size will be different. Yang awak tengok dot tadi tu kan, yang kita belah dia nampak macam gunung tu kan. That size will be different depending on the thickness of that we put here. Banyak lah, not only the thickness, the pressure, the thickness, the temperature. Di masa kita masak lah, this is kuali lapis kita masak. Sebenarnya nak buat this epitaxia pun dia kena masak. Dia masuk dalam MOCVD, CVD. It's like a big machine to cook it. So to cook it, you need to put the right temperature, the right pressure, the right density, concentration. You can play with all of that, and you can change this. So can you see? So suddenly the same thing, but this band gap is different. Ni material indium arsenide lagi, tapi because of the strain inside dia lain, right? So that's why dipanggil band gap engineering. You can pick and choose what is the band gap that you want. Why is it important? Because band gap determines the color or the wavelength that comes out when there's recombination, right? So you can, by the same, using the same material, you can control what are the wavelength that comes out that you want. Okay, so which is very good lah. Maknanya we don't have to use other material. Same material ditukar sikit cara masak, dapat keluar different type of different band gap. Okay.
So no longer be
One of the
0.3
best thing about
electron
quantum
volt
dot
lah.
Apa?
So no longer be 0.3 electron volt lah for the indium arsenide.
It can be,
It'll be
it can
like 0.5.
You'll be slightly different. Yang saya draw ni saya exaggerate sikit lah besar dia ni, tapi maknanya I'm just telling you we can play with it, that we can change the band gap energy. So orang kata band gap engineering tu, one of it is using quantum dot. Ada kat band gap engineering dia kata band gap engineering using different material. Okay, fine, betul juga. Tapi yang ni one way of you can change the band gap punya energy is by playing with the size of the dot. Okay, and sampai kat situ je lah, saya tak cerita lain nanti opening. Quantum dot ni banyak lagi. Kenapa quantum dot tak take off? Soalan lah. Sampai sekarang if you go buy laser, jarang lah you will get the quantum dot laser. Biasanya orang nak beli laser tu biasanya heterostructure, paling-paling pun quantum lah. Anybody can answer? Kalau always answer, wow, saya belanja makan.
Makan lah.
Kenapa quantum dot doesn't, kenapa quantum dot tak take off? Walaupun dia sangat bagus. And saya buat 5 tahun research on that. Jawapannya ialah
Reliability.
kita tak boleh, it's difficult to buat quantum dot ni. Dia ikut suka macam kita buat kuih lapis kan. Bila saya buat kuih lapis dia ada bonjol-bonjol saya buat tu kan. Saya boleh tentukan ke bonjol tu nak duduk kat mana? Tak, dia suka dia. Dia suka hati dia. Semacam so jadi the process of the quantum dot for semiconductor ni is random. And dia bergantung berbanyak benda. So macam we cannot control it. Dia suka hati dia nak ada dot kat situ. Kalau tengok gambar tadi kan, dot tu kan macam tak systematic. Dia ikut dia yang duduk mana, right? Remember yang gambar saya tunjuk dot tadi? It's not uniform. Because it's a random process. So because random process tu, maka kita tak boleh control, so difficult. So maknanya kadang-kadang jadi, kadang tak jadi. Kadang dia suka nak duduk tompok kat situ. Dah susah lah kita, right? We want it to be uniform. Kita nak cut lagi dia punya wafer tu nak jual. So that's why for normal tak ada. Military tak apa, macam dia buat satu ketul ni, betul tu dia merata, dia nampak kat sini lagi banyak, dia ambil je lah situ, dia tak kira of cost. Tapi kita tak, kita the whole wafer tu as a normal consumable, kita nak semua boleh pakai. So sekarang ni tak sampai lah kat situ lagi. Okay. Teknologi tu tak sampai. Ada orang cuba buat macam-macam, crazy. Kalau baca research, wow, crazy. Dia buat tu, buat ni, buat macam-macam. Dia kata, wow, hebatnya. Tapi still ada research. One day when they found it, masa tu, I don't know, maybe saya dah mati ke 20 years ke 30 years back, later, maybe masa tu quantum dot already streamline. Dia dah jumpa teknologi untuk membuat dia tak random. Okay. Any more question on quantum
Madam,
dot and quantum well?
Is
Yes.
it can quantum dot become quantum well?
Okay, siapa nak jawab soalan tu?
I'll say no.
Faiz jawab tak?
I said yes.
Orang lain? Azam kata yes. Najwa kata apa? Tak dengar lah Najwa.
No, madam, no.
No, Hambali. Solehina tak ada lah. Hambali.
Wait.
Dengar kata Hambali ni.
Ah,
What do you think?
question again.
Ha?
Repeat the question.
Repeat the question, Aina.
Can quantum dot become quantum well?
Dia tengok nota dia.
No.
So, jawapan lepas tengok nota Hambali.
No.
Oh, Hambali kata no. Aiman?
No.
So, the only one who answer yes is Azam. Okay, tell us why yes.
Just you said before that quantum dot is a smaller diameter of quantum well. So if we increase the diameter, is it we can put the quantum well?
How do you increase the diameter?
I don't know. I have no idea how to increase diameter.
Katanya boleh ketak, kita kena jawab lah
So,
boleh ketak in terms of how to do it, right? Tak boleh lah, I mean, kita rasa tapi ini tak boleh. Cuba fikir kuih lapis tu kan. Lepas ada buat lapisan tu, thickness dia banyak tu, awak boleh tukar tak lepas
Suka edit tu. Masih jambai.
Hambali.
Jambai.
Hambali.
Masih jambai.
Hambali.
Masih jambai.
Dia tak dengar tu, dia tak berbual.
Masuk tu. Dah buat sejak hari.
Saya mute-kan dia.
Okay.
Okay,
I
so.
think no, madam. No.
Kenapa no pula?
Bukan. Yang mana kata tadi, yang apa, kalau kuih lapis yang dah buat lepas tu boleh tukar tak?
Kalau kuih lapis tu, awak dah buat thickness dia certain thickness. Benda tu dah siap. Awak nak tukar thickness dia lepas tu boleh?
No.
So sama lah jawapan dia. Dah siap, dah buat dah thickness macam tu kan. Macam mana awak nak tukar balik? Awak boleh makan je lah kuih lapis tu. So sama juga semiconductor bila dah jadi macam tu, you cannot do it, cannot be interchangeable unless you, kalau hancur semua pun dia takkan jadi balik sebab dia dah bercampur. Kalau kuih lapis tu awak lepas awak tu hancur dia campur semua tak jadi balik, awak nak bina balik pun tak boleh, right? Samalah, energi kuih lapis tu saya rasa memang sangat bagus sekali untuk semiconductor. Muncullah kuih kat Malaysia Melayu ni ada kuih lapis. So senang nak explain. Tapi awak kena, lepas ni awak minta mak awak masak kuih lapis, awak tengoklah macam mana buat kuih lapis tu. Sangat susah. Saya buat dekat UK, saya cerita kat awak, saya buat dekat 1 hari. Crazy. Saya tak tahu apa benda dengan saya punya steamer tu. 1 hari tak masak-masak. Lepas tu saya dapat berapa 5 layer, saya give up, kata makan je lah, tak siap ni. Saya bagi suami saya makan je lah. Lepas 1 hari saya tunggu tahu. Ya Allah, tapi kat Malaysia ni sejak macam tu saya tak buat-buat dah kuih lapis sampai dah sekarang. So
promo.
Madam, resepi madam problem ke?
Mungkin. I don't know. Tapi tengok orang buat semua jadi lah. Bila saya apa benda? I don't know what's the problem. Saya rasa temperature kot. Steamer saya pakai electric steamer. Kat UK mana ada, kat Malaysia. Macam Malaysia steamer letak atas dapur tu kan. Dia ada macam electric steamer tu je. Mungkin dia punya tu tak kuat sangat. Dia punya pemanasan, kuasa pemanasan tu. So nak boleh ke settle setiap layer tu sangat lama. Saya duduk tunggulah tepi tu, check balik setiap 5 minit. So dalam orang Malaysia tu check 5 minit. Kita kat UK tu guna benda lain. Setiap 5 minit, sejam baru benda tu settle satu layer. So and then not only that, dia berkutu pula tu. Dia ada dia jadi
Kering
bam.
dia jadi ada stove pula.
Dah lah lambat masak tak cantik. Dia memang tak buat dah lepas tu. So beli je lah kat Malaysia ni bahagia. You know, you can just buy anything. Okay, so that's on quantum dot and quantum well. So you can think of how to use it. Go and find out more what are the advantages and disadvantages of the quantum dot and quantum well. Make sure you know, sebab mungkin akan masuk final exam. Okay. Alright, so
I wonder if they use the same technology for the laser cannon. No, the US military has already the laser weapon that can shoot down unmanned vehicles. So I wonder if they use the same technology because it's laser, right?
Yes, maybe yes, but quantum well pun boleh buat. Cumanya high powered laser normally with dipanggil gas laser, bukan semiconductor. Semiconductor ni dia kena biasanya kalau high power yang potong-potong tu kan, kalau laser yang potong-potong tu dia guna gas laser, which is the principle of how it works is different. Tapi dia lace lah. Lace ni just make sure dia ada mana lace with one single wavelength. Tu nama laser lah. So dia ada ciri-ciri laser tu, whether dia gas ke, dia semiconductor ke, dia apa ke, dia ada ciri tu dia panggil laser. So laser, semiconductor laser biasanya we use for communication. Kalau nak tembak tu, I don't think it's powerful enough for now. Tak tahu lah later they manage to put pixel ke apa ke, semiconductor laser tu mampu untuk potong-potong high powered. Tapi normally high powered kalau saya guna lab pun bahaya. Kalau deal with laser, kalau saya buat eksperimen dulu dalam lab dulu memang dia kena memang ada caution. Macam kalau turn on dia tu memang apa nama ni, kita tak tengok direct, mata kita akan rosak. Padahal benda tu bukan masuk mata kita pun, duduk depan kita macam ni kan. Dia very sharp laser ni. And dia sangat terang. And kalau kena mata kita masuk memang buta lah. Boleh buta. Okay. Alright. So any more question on quantum dot and quantum well? No? Kita balik, kalau tak ada kita balik kepada ni semula. Saya nak perhabiskan ni. Habis ni kita pada belakang ni. Band to band. Okay, generation and recombination through traps, through defects are also known as Shockley reed Hall recombination or generation. So ni ejaan salah, Shockley. Ejaan salah ni. So say you don't trust my slide. I don't even trust my slide. So saya saja tak betul kan, so jangan percaya. Kalau baca je datang kelas habis lawak. Shockley.
S-H-O-C.
Shock.
The first C tu tak ada.
Shockley. Kan. Betul. So this is the Shockley reed Hall recombination. Kenapa nama Shockley reed Hall? Sebab yang pertama jumpa this mechanism is called, dia dua orang. Nama seorang nama Shockley. Tiga orang. Shockley, Reed dengan Hall. Tiga sekawan. So dia jumpa dia buh nama dia lah macam tu. Okay. So that's Shockley reed Hall. OJ ni dalam kita ni tak pakai sangat tak payah. Tapi kalau buat FYP mungkin awak perlukan OJ ni to understand. Tapi none of you are doing FYP with me, so let's skip lah. Kalau nak tahu tanya saya. So that when impact ionization, we talk about impact ionization already, make sure you understand. Okay, now I want to talk about this. So Shockley reed Hall tu, bila dia buat eksperimen tu, they come up with this mechanism and they wrote a very nice equation. Nice equation. Kalau tiba keluar exam equation ni, mesti awak pengsan tak. So just to tell you the story, this equation, masa saya buat PhD tu, I have to derive this equation. Macam nak pengsan jugalah. So because this equation coming from many different equation, kena letak. Lepas tu cancel, in the end dapat this, ni bukan apa sangat, this just rate of transition. Maknanya nak boleh tahu rate of this generation and recombination process. So dia bergantung banyak elemen, the concentration of the PNN, the intrinsic carrier concentration, and sigma here is the carrier capture cross section. Apa benda tu? Okay, kat mana ada benda tulis kat mana ke? Tak ada.
Capture cross section.
Capture cross section. Apa benda capture cross section ni? For example, setiap trap defect tu kalau tengok mikroskop kita nampak dia macam-macam line ke apa kan. Setiap trap tu dia ada cross section dia boleh capture. Kalau imagine lubang, besar mana lubang tu? Okay, so lubang tu berbeza untuk electron dengan hole. So the trap, the way it trap, lubang trap tu is it has different characteristic between the electron and hole. So that's why in this equation we have capture cross section for hole and capture macam ni. Capture cross section for electron and capture cross section for hole. Okay, this is the thermal velocity. So this complicated equation they all simplify, make some make some assumption. Conclusionnya ialah bukan ini, tak ada kat sini. Conclusion ni dari sini, you can find apa pernah dengar ideality factor?
Pernah. Tapi tak baca Bobby.
Tak payah tahulah. Untuk awak punya ni saya takut confused. Tapi untuk FIP saya dia penting. Ideality factor. Awak semua ni mungkin awak kerja pun bukan bidang ni, so it's okay. So basically it's just telling from the forward bias of the IV curve, current voltage curve, you can get the ideality factor. Ideality factor is just the slope. The slope of the IV curve will tell you the dominant mechanism, is it generation through traps or band to band. Interesting lah, but just buat IV, kita ambil your diode tu, kita measure the IV dia, in the end kita boleh tahu just from the IV, the dominant mechanism inside the diode is actually band to band generation ataupun generation to traps. So this equation, everything, it will tell you that. So what I want to highlight is this lifetime. From this equation, everything you can come up to this equation, whereby it simplifies in terms of lifetime. Lifetime of the carrier. Okay, lifetime apa? Like kita pun ada lifetime lah. Do you have lifetime? What is your lifetime, Aina? You know, what is your lifetime?
Is it life?
Huh? I cannot hear you.
What does it mean by lifetime?
Lifetime? What is your lifetime, Azam?
Is it umur, age?
Lifetime ni sampai mati. Do you know your lifetime?
Oh, no, I don't know.
So semua akan mati. Semua akan mati di dunia ini. Everything akan mati. Malaikat pun akan mati. Dunia akan mati. Termasuklah elektron hole pun akan mati. Okay. So lifetime is a measure of the electron. Kita panggil dia masuk dia mati tu. It becomes bound again. So lifetime is the average time that the carrier is moving freely. So apa nama ni? When the carrier are moving freely, it's called macam alive lah. Sebab kalau dia dah bound, it has no significant to us. Kalau dia duduk dalam bound, dia tak buat apa pun. Bila dia free tu ya, bila kita ada dapat current, dapat light, that many things, right? So we call the carrier lifetime is the average time when the carriers are free. So the lifetime will tell you if you have more traps inside a semiconductor, the lifetime will reduce. You have more traps or defects inside the semiconductor, the lifetime will reduce. Why, Hambali? Hambali, why?
Sure.
Ambali, can you hear me?
Yes.
So what happens if the lifetime is reduced? When apa soalan saya tadi?
When what is it? More traps, the lifetime will be reduced. There you go.
Yeah. If more traps, lifetime reduced. Why?
The lot more energy loss.
Sorry.
What do you mean?
Because the trap dia stop lompat rosak. The trap.
Kenapa elektron tu nak rosak kalau dia lompat? It's not about rosak, dia mati ni. We don't talk about rosak.
Apa dia tu? Rosak juga mati lah.
Dia tak ada electronic hole ni, dia tak ada definisi yang rosak. Tak ada. Dia hidup atau mati je.
Yeah.
It's free or bound. There's nothing in between. So? Who wants to answer? Why when we have a lot of traps or defects, the lifetime reduces?
Easier to recombine.
So when you have more traps, the probability for recombination will be higher. So therefore, you will lose more of the free carriers soon. Therefore, the lifetime reduces. Okay. So you can calculate the lifetime. So kalau dalam so for example, Faiz, this is very important. This equation where you have the lifetime, the carrier capture cross section, the thermal velocity, and the trap density. The higher the trap density is, NT is the trap density. If you have higher number of trap density, the lifetime will reduce. When you reduce the lifetime, it means that your LED or laser will mati soon lah. You know, not mati. The efficiency will reduce. Number one, and maybe it will not it will not work last long because of the heating. If you have a lot of traps, maybe you will have a lot of heating inside. Okay, so that's the relationship between lifetime and the trap density and recombination process. Okay, so and then the capture, the carrier across capture cross section, capture cross section. Okay, carrier capture cross section. So different trap have different capture cross section. So we need to do experiment to know which traps, what is the capture cross section of that trap. Okay, tapi biasanya kita tak tahulah, susah. Dia dekat UI ni we cannot measure the capture cross section. Kita tak ada alat tu.
We can measure the ideality factor, right? Because only requires the IV plot.
Ni salah ni. Carrier lifetime is actually higher for high level injection with traps.
Wait, what?
Oh, high level injection with traps, bukan high level trap. Betul-betul. Carrier lifetime is actually higher for high level injection with traps. Interesting tak? Ya, nanti tak apalah. Untuk master level boleh nanti discuss. Okay. Okay, now for those doing photo detector, I want you to explain a bit on this. Light absorption and transmittance is important for photo detector. Okay, make sure I will not explain here. I just stay here. You need to go and read and explain. And how does this light absorption transmittance, mechanism affect the photo detector performance? Soalan ni biasa ada dalam final. And then this graph also important. Absorption coefficient versus wavelength is semiconductor. So for example, this is a graph of the penetration depth of the absorption coefficient. Ni alpha is the absorption coefficient. You need to know what is it against wavelength for different material here. So you can see here for different material, gallium phosphide. So sometimes in the final exam, I will just give you this. I give a scenario, I will ask you which material is best for that kind of scenario. So in order to answer that, you need to understand this graph. Apa benda graph ni dia cerita apa? Apa benda it's telling you. Okay. So the one who do photo detector, make sure you cover this.
Absorption coefficient.
Yeah. You are lucky there's no assignment number 2. Dulu saya bagi assignment ni. Kita duduk semua student sebab susah sangat. So with time semakin lenient. Tak payahlah saya buang ni. Malah tahu apa benda student belajar. Sebab dulu memang banyak. So assignment tu memang susah. So saya dah tak bagi lah. So you only have one assignment. So it's 30%. It's a lot. Try your best to make sure. Biasanya kalau kadang-kadang tu student present tu saya tak happy, saya akan suruh present sekali lagi. Kalau tak markah rendah sangat. So make sure you, especially bab yang how it works, you must be very clear that your friend can understand and can explain dalam exam nanti. Sebab saya tak ajar dah. Based on what you explain je. You come in the exam or quiz. Okay. 12.50. Ada apa-apa lagi kah? So kita dah habis bab ni. Wow, kita dah habis. Lepas tu kita buat apa? Kita buat apa hari ni? Hari tu nanti kita buat apa? Kita masuk PKP lah.
Madam,
Yes?
kalau yang calculation tu kena highlight juga.
Calculation tu kena highlight calculation apa?
Mana untuk final ada yang calculation je.
Oh, final. Final tak ada calculation. It's just understanding of the equation. Mungkin saya template equation tu. What do you think when some scenario happens?
When trust increase, what happen? Itulah
Dia open
something like that.
kan. Saya pun tak tanda lagi awak punya quiz. Aduh, penat lah saya fikir nak kena tanda. Banyak sangat benda nak kena tanda. Saya tak tanda satu pun lagi. But I need to tanda lah. Kalau tidak, awak akan terkejut. Kalau tiba-tiba awak ingat awak you're doing okay, tiba-tiba awak tak do okay. So, awak ingatkan saya lah dalam Telegram. Awak harass me. Madam, dah tanda ke tak quiz? Okay. Dan mungkin kalau awak tanya banyak kali tu, saya rasa macam guilty, bersalah, maka saya akan buat. Sebab saya banyak sangat kerja, saya macam benda tu saya akan letak ke belakang. Kadang bila saya dah banyak penat, saya tak tengok dah lah. Sedangkan saya patut tengok. Okay, so let's help each other. I will help you by marking, but you need to help me by reminding me. Okay, ada apa-apa soalan lagi? So, ada apa-apa soalan lagi? Awak semua ni semua tak ada soalan pasal assignment awak. Semua terror kot. Saya, hak terror ni hak saya risau sekali. Biasanya hak senyap ni tiba-tiba on that day, what? Saya akan naik mengamuk, naik angin. Kata, why did you ask me before? Saya kata situ. Biasanya, student nak senyap ni. Student yang bagus ni biasa dia akan tanya tu, dia takut. Sebelum kena presentation tu dia tanya, tapi awak semua ni senyap. Mesti tak buat apa-apa. Dia buat apa-apa ke?
Dah tengok video dekat YouTube je.
Okay. So, so next class we will be learning, kita akan masuk topik baru, BJT. Okay, dah habis dah PI junction, optoelectronic device will be covered during your presentation. So kita masuk BJT.
Bipolar junction terminal.
Okay. Kalau tak ada apa-apa, let's end the class today. Siapa nak baca doa hari ini?
Ya, madam.
Silakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma ahyina bil iman wa amitna bil iman wa hsyurna bil iman wa adkhilna jannata ma'al iman. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wasallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, selamat berpuasa dan berbuka puasa. Saya tarawih, banyakkanlah amal-amal soleh. Duduk saya saja tu yang duduk saja. Kalau tu berzikir lah daripada tak buat apa kan. Sambil duduk je, kalau boleh not a single second that kita tak berzikir untuk Ramadan ni. Setiap second yang ada tu. Tiba teringat je macam, teringat je zikir. Jangan macam kita lalai kalau boleh. Alright. Okay, let's end the class with tasbih kifarah and surah al-Asr. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus solihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.